welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today, guys, we're going to discuss the relationship between Scorpio and Virgo. So these two are pretty compatible. They're both introverted sort of signs. They like to talk without actually speaking with their mouths. They have that communication style where they have nonverbal communication down packed. They're both able to be well read when it comes to psychological reasoning. And just they're very inept in reading other people's behaviors and their emotions. So Virgo is, of course, governed by Mercury. They're on more of the intellectual, detail-oriented side of Mercury. And Scorpio is governed by Mars, who, or you can say Pluto. They're really debatable, like what Scorpio is governed by. It almost operates like a fire sign. I like to say Mars a lot, but realistically they are Pluto. And they're very much all about just sex and passion and all those different urges that come with it, but they still have the deep emotional premises of any other water sign. So when these two get together, Virgo really appreciates the emotional nature that they bring to the table. They like having a fixated, stable sign that's with them, especially for intimacy. For intimacy, these guys get about 85% compatibility because they're able to really spend a lot of time together and not get annoyed. Virgo is a very critical sign, but because Scorpio is so well read and so detail oriented themselves, they do appreciate their nature a lot, and they're able to really look over even little critiques that they do have when it comes to Scorpio. They respect their emotional awareness, they respect their intellectualism, and they're able to really take them seriously when it comes to other things such as like economic, business, all that stuff. The only downside, I guess, which isn't really a downside, is that Scorpio and Virgos tend to really just have a lot of sex. They end up not really getting into serious relationships. Scorpio can really bring Virgo out of that sort of shell where they're more so, I guess, the saints of all the zodiacs. I mean, they really bring them into their sexual nature and really draw that emotional side out of them, even though you would say, I guess, the Virgo sign's more of just on the emotional side of things, or the rational side, I should say. They're really able to bring them onto that emotional side and really make them explore even more about themselves. So it's very complementary in that sense. Aside from Virgo being critical at times, this relationship should work. For the Virgo person, my only recommendation would be to understand that even though Scorpio is very silent, very contemplative, they still do have feelings, and just make sure that you aren't using those critiques too much, because that actually could get to them underneath what appears to be a hard shell. Moving on to business. Business-wise, these two are great. About 90% of the time it's going to work. For a lot of the reasons that I've already listed off, they are very much both well-read. They're able to really take things seriously. Virgo, like I said, is most self-made billionaires. And we have Scorpio now that is very much not too far under that list. Like, they're able to really get money. They're smart. They're very detail-oriented. So Virgo's not gonna really have a lot to criticize the Scorpio on when it comes to like how they're getting their money or whatever business they're doing. Scorpio will more than pull their weight, and when it comes to the whole power dynamic, Scorpio has no real problem letting the Virgo person have control and be sort of, I guess, like the boss in that sense, just because they just want to make sure the job is done correct. Scorpio's main thing is all about competency, whereas Virgo will more so be about that as well, but at times they can still be a bit power hungry. Last but not least, we have the friendship aspect. This is about, I'd say, 90%. These two do get along very well. It's kind of like the two kids that didn't really talk to anybody in class, but then they get to know each other and then they're becoming good friends. Scorpio is a very powerful sign, considered sometimes by most as being the most powerful sign. They're very silent and contemplative, unlike the Leo that's more so like externally out there, the alpha in the group. The Scorpio doesn't really care to be the alpha, but everybody knows their presence is there. Virgo can definitely respect that in a friendship basis, where they can be a bit introverted, a bit shy. Scorpio can sometimes appear to be, but however, they are really not. They don't really have any problems when it comes to confidence and being extroverted when the situation sort of calls for it. So when you get these two together in that sort of aspect, it definitely works very perfectly. And friendships, there's not really much cons with them. They have a whole list of topics that they can discuss. Like I said, they're both very intellectual. So when it comes to like these two, when it comes to compatibility, there's not a lot of bad things to say. In a friendship, I really have nothing bad to say. Just to reiterate from before, with intimacy, like I said, Virgos, don't be too critical. Scorpio person, ease up with the sexual advances to the point where you're flirting with other people as well. As long as that loyalty dynamic is there, you guys will have a really fruitful relationship. But aside from that, guys, that should conclude the video. If you guys do have any questions whatsoever, just leave it in the comments for me. Aside from that, guys, please like, subscribe. Follow me. It's over today, guys. Peace.